Good morning everyone, I am Red Grace B. Bernal. So before we begin, let's make sure our environment is clean and organized. Please pick up any trash and arrange your chairs properly. Let's keep our room neat and respectful for everyone. Thank you. Today, we're going to talk about something really important for creating a positive and productive learning environment: discipline and logical consequences. So the main goal of these lessons is to help you understand the importance of discipline in the classroom and how to use logical consequences effectively. These are the learning objectives. So by the end of the facilitation, the student should be first demonstrate an understanding of the importance of discipline in learner-centered classrooms. Second is to explain the concept of logical consequences and its application in the classroom. And the last is to create logical consequences for common classroom misbehaviors, demonstrating an understanding of fairness, relevance, and effectiveness. Now, let's talk about discipline and how it plays in a role in our learning environment. So class, when you heard the word discipline, what's the first things that comes to your mind? Some of you might think that the rules and a punishment, right? But it's actually much more than that. Discipline is really about learning to manage ourselves, control our actions, and make a good choices. Think about it. When we follow the rules, we're not just being told what to do. We're learning to be responsible for our actions and positive environment when everyone can learn. So, why discipline is important? Discipline is important for many reasons, impacting individuals, groups, and society as a whole. Here are some case of reason. First, manage time. Good disciplines help students to do all the assignments on time instead of wasting it. Second, stay active. Good disciplines generates a positive attitudes in students, which is the most essential things that students need in their life. Discipline also creates a confidence and eagerness in students. Next, stay focused. Discipline teaches students to be focused and motivated towards their studies as well the other fields in their life. The students with strong aims are more focused if the students do not stay disciplined, so it becomes hard for them to stay focused in their studies. Next, better academic performance. Being disciplined is the most essential for a better education. Discipline is compulsory in students' life because education is not completed without the discipline. Next is to set a good example for others. When the students stay in the discipline, they also encourage other students to be disciplined as well. So in short, disciplines help you succeed in life, keep society running smoothly, and help us all make progress. It's not just about following rules blindly, but also about learning to focus, control yourself, and stick to the things that matters. Now, we're going to dive into the specific tools for discipline called logical consequences. Logical consequences are different from punishment. They're meant to teach us lessons and help us understand how our actions affect ourselves and others. So remember, the key to effective logical consequences is to ensure they are first related. The consequence should be directly related to the behavior. Next is respectful. Consequences are delivered a way that respect the student's dignity and promote a positive learning environment. And last is reasonable. The consequences should be appropriate for the child's age and understanding. By using logical consequences, learner-centered classrooms create a supportive and empowering environment where students can learn, grow, and take responsibility for their actions. For example, cheating. The problem is a student is caught cheating on assignments or a quiz. The logical consequences, the student may be given 0 for the assignments and required to redo it independently. The teacher could also have a conversation with the students about the importance of academics integrity and the consequences of cheating. Why it works? It works because the consequence of 0 or redoing the assignments is directly related to the behavior of cheating. Respectful, the focus of the behavior, cheating rather than shaming the students. The conversation about the academic integrity emphasizes the importance of the honest learning. Reasonable, the consequences fair and age appropriate for the situations. It encourages the students to take responsibility or ownership of their mistakes and learn from it. Next example. Late submission. A student consistently turn in their work late. So the logical consequences, the students might be given a reduced grade for the late submission. The teacher could also work with the students to develop a plan for managing their time and meeting the deadlines. Why it works? It works because it's related. The consequence, reduced grades, is directly connected to the behavior of turning the work late. Respectful, the focus is on helping the students develop better time management skills and meeting deadlines. The teacher is addressing the behavior without shaming or blaming the students. Reasonable, the consequences are fair and age appropriate, and they provide the students with an opportunity to learn from their mistakes and improve. So now, I have a question. Can you think of other times when you or someone you know has experienced logical consequences? What were the consequences, and how they helped the persons learn from their mistakes or actions? Just comment your answer in the comment section. So now, imagine that you're learning to ride a bike. If you fall, you might get the script, but you also learn to balance better. That's like a logical consequences. It's a natural result to your actions and it helps you learn. In the classroom, logical consequences are like helping hands. This is a consequences that related to the problem and it helps you to get caught up. So logical consequences help you first learn from your mistakes. Logical consequences teach you what works and what doesn't. Next is be responsible. You understand that your actions have a consequences and you learn to make a better choices. Next is to have a better classroom. Everyone feels safe and respected and we can all focus on learning. So that's why logical consequences are so important. They help everyone grow and learn together. So in 5 minutes, I want you to work with a partner, think about some common misbehaviors in the class, then come up with the logical consequences for each one. Consider these questions. How can logical consequences help students to learn and grow? And how can they help create a more respectful and productive classroom? In conclusion, as we discussed today, discipline isn't about the rules and punishment. It's about creating a safe and respectful learning environment where everyone feels valued and can reach their full potential. And logical consequences is a powerful tool to help us learn from our mistakes, take responsibility for our actions, and make a better choices. Remember, a classroom where everyone is accountable and respectful is a classroom where everyone can learn and grow. Do you have any final questions about what we learned today? So if none, it's time for the quick assessments to see how will you understand logical consequences. So in 1/2 crosswise, I want you to write a short paragraph explaining how logical consequences are different from punishment. Logical consequences and how they can help us understand, grow, and create a positive learning environment. For your assignments, I want you to think of common misbehavior that you're seeing in the class or at home. Then write down possible logical consequences for that behavior. Remember, your consequences should be first related. The consequences should be directly connected to the misbehavior. Reasonable, the consequences should be age appropriate and fair. Helpful, it should be help the person learn from the actions and make a better choices in the future. Note, be prepared to share your ideas in our next meeting and we'll discuss why it's a good examples of logical consequences. That's all. Thank you for listening.